announcement, we are open to have private sessions. I am opening new dates on my schedule. We have a brand new automated booking system. No more long waits for confirming the booking. That's right, everyone. Automated booking system is here. Go to andrewbartzis.com and look forward to seeing you in a private session.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Talking Lightworker Show. So I'd like to welcome my co-host of Lightworkers. We have Laura Massey.
Hi, everybody. Yeah, we're removing the serious talking stick today, aren't we, Dale?
Yes. We have the 222 Amy Kruzic.
Hey, everybody.
I want to know what that 222 means.
We have St. Germain's cousin, David Ellis, to the show.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, guys. How are we doing?
We're
We'd
good.
like to
I'm
welcome
laughing.
David back on the show. We haven't seen Dave for a while. How are you getting on, David?
I've been buried in work, really.
Tell us.
Yes.
Tell us more.
Tell
What's
me
going
on
on in
and
David's
nuclear
world
and so on.
for those people who have missed your presence?
Well, I have been studying. I have been becoming a DNA analyst and a medical aesthetics professional.
Ooh.
And I am now finishing mineral composition so that very soon in the near future, I'll be able to get a cheek swab from one of you guys and tell y'all everything that is going wrong in your life.
We'll have to do a whole show on that one, you guys.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That will be
That's
fun.
basically what's going on. I would like to swab a light worker and find out what's going wrong in their life. Right, because there's a certain level of stupidity that might be embedded in the DNA.
Like what?
Well, let's see. If you think bathing somebody in white light will change their attitude towards you, you might be mistaken. I mean, it might take something a little bit more than that, like, a communication process, right? Oh, look, the world is going to shit. Let me bathe it in white light and hope that, the nuclear arms race will stop.
Oh, absolutely.
Wow.
Mhm.
Yeah. If you just send all the political leaders love and light,
Yes.
it will work.
You know, I that's one of the things that I actually disturbed me about the Lightworker community, because there's an element of control and narcissism in there, such as, and as an example, if somebody's not willing to accept your white light, don't bathe them in it. I mean, like, that should be kind of like obvious, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? You ask consent first. Hi, can I bathe you in my white light? And the answer is 9 times out of 10, if that's a normal person, no, I'm good. I'm straight, right? Well, the first thing that, right? Especially if you approach them with, I would like to bathe you in white light. I'm going to go with a no for that one, because I'll associate it with everything, other things that are white, and I'm going to say, like, no.
Mhm.
Now, imagine this, Laura. You're in a bar. Okay,
Yeah.
because everything starts at the bar. I roll up to you with my drink in my hand. It may be a martini. I might be 007. You never know. Shaken, not stirred. And I say to you, Laura, hi, Laura. My name is Dave. Can I bathe you in my white light?
Yeah, Laura.
You gotta put the finger in your throat.
Throw the drink in your face.
Yes.
That will not go very far very
No,
quickly. Like,
no.
who does that, right?
I know, and could be totally misconstrued as well.
Yeah.
It's a bit like people after they sent it say, I sent you some healing energy. Like, what?
Mm-hmm.
Did I ask?
So why do we talk about stepping on the journey then? Because this is what
Yes.
we're kind of going over here. The importance of, and a lot of light worker and people out there in the spiritual community tend to like to step on people's journey. They tend to want to change people when they're not ready for change. And this is something I've experienced and gone from my own validation and lessons because of it. You're messing with karma. You're creating karma for yourself when you're trying to change someone without actually asking them for their acceptance of you doing that. And this is something I've seen time and time again in Reiki, where people will send treatments to people the other side of the world or family members who don't actually want treatments. And this is a continuing stepping on people's journey. So, Amy, I'll bring you in here. Why is it important not to step on people's journey?
Wow, because basically it's my own journey and I need to learn certain lessons here. And so stepping on it is not appropriate. But I have to say, even without knowing spiritual, light worker, I've done that. I've done that, right? Like even with my kids, I've done that when they were little. Well, they don't know better. So go here, take this class, take that. Sometimes they listened, sometimes they didn't. So they kind of had an awareness of like, this is my life, Mom. I'm going to live it my way. It's basically, which is good. It's like, that's good. Like, I finally realized it. So, yeah.
There's a reverse to that story, right?
What is
where parents who are light workers say, it's their journey. Let the 3-year-old choose what it wants. If it wants to pick up the handgun, let it pick up the handgun.
Oh,
Not a sixth journey. There are people who think that way, so you gotta be balanced.
Ooh, that's true.
Yes, there's a degree of spiritual ego in this, isn't there? And as Judith so rightly says, addicted to the fixing.
Yeah,
it's like we were talking about in last week's show. I can love you better. There's a lot of that, and I had that spiritual ego, both with my partner at the time and other people, and even now. I just have to watch that spiritual ego, not from the point of view of being light worker in wanting to fix people, but getting into a teacher role when it's not required. because it's something I like to do, like all of us here. I sort of do it naturally now. And obviously, after so many shows and so much experience with you guys, I'm feeling much more confident in what I do. But I also have to remember where I am. You know, with friends, unless they're asking, you don't want to step into that teacher role. So again, that spiritual ego is something that I think is. Do you think so, David? Is that what is fueling the light workers to want to try and fix people?
I think that a lot of people perceive people's issues as their responsibility. So I am the enlightened one. You understand? I sit here with my enlightened self, just getting showered by white light, and then I turn around to you because obviously there's no white light over you. You understand, right? There's only white light over me. So I look at you and I say, I will share some of my wisdom and my white light because
Yeah.
Right. And so there's a kind of narcissism that comes out of it where they're trying to impart knowledge to you because you're a few stairs down the spiritual ladder, right?
It's the superiority, isn't it?
Correct.
Yeah. It's a condescending sort of attitude too.
And so we're not saying that every light worker is like that. I say there's levels. It's like the narcissism when we talked about that. There's so many different levels to it, isn't there? You get the light worker who is like that, where you'll meet them and all of a sudden, like I've had it before where I've fairly held myself back, but when someone starts asking me questions and I start showing like authenticity and like high energy or whatever to them, and that it triggers the fuck out of them. I'm seeing it time and time again, and I always say to myself, this is why I don't try and tell people what I do and go into it, because a lot of people, when you actually start speaking from your own truth, they get triggered and it pisses them off, and they go into competition and they project at you. And we've had this, haven't we, Laura, when we've gone out?
Yes.
Where I've been like, and all of a sudden we started talking. Then we started like talking about like our own stuff and what we actually do, and you could see them triggered, like, holy fuck! Like
it's like my life.
How dare you have some sort of knowing about not everything about yourself and like spirit and stuff.
Yeah, my light's brighter than yours, like David was saying. I shine brighter.
You know what kills me? I used to teach Hatha Yoga for many, many years. I taught yoga teachers. When you signed up to my school of yoga, there is a thing that we say, we're not doing the guru thing here. Yes. Like I wrote it in the sign-up sheet. We are not practicing guruism. Despite the fact you had regular people suddenly donning the white robes, and I mean white robes, right? I am the instructor, and I'm irreverent. You guys know that I'm irreverent. I'm just gonna be me. I gotta be me. So they come up, and I'm like, students of mine were like wearing the robes and the turban and stuff. I'm like, cultural appropriation. Like, I don't even know what kind of appropriation is that. So they go to the far end of the spectrum, because for them it's like they're grasping for the spiritual jewels. Okay, that was probably not a good way of putting that.
These nuts.
Wait, so when you're saying that, David, what question comes to mind? So those that go the extreme, are those light workers stepping on their own human journey, right? Yeah. Because we did come here to be human.
Yes.
That's what it feels like when you were talking about that.
Yeah, and a lot of people go through severe austerities. I'm not going to mention any names, but the vegans in the crew,
like yourself.
So that I'm mentioning any names or not pointing to anybody in particular.
David is a vegan as well,
right? But they become vegan. I'm celibate. You're going to become vegan. You're going to become celibate. You're going to stop eating meat. You're going to stop doing this. You're going to stop doing that, and so on, because you want to be that spiritual person, right? Okay.
Yeah.
and you're still human. Like, can you imagine going out to dinner with people like that? Not me.
No.
I'm not pointing to myself.
No.
Imagine going out to dinner with people like that. So you're at dinner. Like I met a giant, an extreme spiritual yogi, and that man would only answer yes or no to questions. Okay, that man would not engage in conversation because he wanted to avoid the karma that comes with entanglement.
No.
So there are people out there that are like that.
Mm-hmm.
And so they won't have a conversation with you. I'll tell you my own dysfunction. When I was very young, I grew up in a TM center. When I came out of the TM center, let me show you how dysfunctional this Lightworker stuff is. We used to meditate at 6 o'clock. We used to coordinate meditations around the world to meditate for world peace. Nothing wrong with that. But when I came out of the yoga center, there were things that I couldn't do, like shake hands with people. We don't do that. Okay? Right?
Life skills.
Having people cook for you, so somebody invites you over to the house, you don't know who they are, what their energies are, so you couldn't eat that. Do you see? I was drowning in my own bullshit in a real social environment, right? Because when you are in these little cults and you are in these little ashrams and stuff like that, you think that that's the world, but it's not. So the Lightworker thing is very, 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 it makes people dysfunctional, I think.
Mm.
And it cuts them off as well, because it's like they cannot listen and understand that everyone has an opinion, and if it doesn't match their opinion, they get really irritated or triggered. And this is the thing with it, and it's always, they always talk about the energies of this, the energies of that, the awakening. Yes, there is an awakening, there's a remembering happening. I do believe that, and I know that, we all know that. But it's when they start to lose their own inner genius and inner voice and start just completely Lightworkering it about energy or light, because that's what I mean, David. It's not, it's just a complete, an answer would be like a complete, like, I've been there, I've done it, I've given a Lightworker answer. It's just completely, it feels stupid. Like, after listening to myself in the future, I'm like, who is that guy? I was like, just completely, throwing the Lightworker.
So there's some kind of an avoidance there, right?
Yes.
They go into that avoidance.
Do their own work, really.
Yeah.
And also, I would say, I mean, and look, I just want to say to people out there, we're only knocking it because we've all been through it. Well,
yes.
Most of us have here. So when we do this, it's just to lighten things up, because it would have been great at the time. In fact, I think I've probably, even now, Dale or Andrew will tease me a bit if I come up with something a bit Lightworkery. So it's all like healthy jest that's going on here, just to help people see, like, you know, a Lightworker, that's great. Maybe it's a rite of passage some of us have to go through. But when you come out the other side of that and you understand spirituality that isn't perverted by Lightworkerism, you actually become a more authentic person. And so many people, you know, Andrew and Natalie used to talk about the Weekend Warriors, if anybody remembers those really old shows. And it's there were also yoga people who are like that now, or people who just do meditation, not knocking any of that, but spirituality takes it beyond that. And it's about remembering spirituality is also recognizing there's an unseen that we're actually interacting with on a daily basis. It's there all the time, and it's doing the prayers and everything to back it up. So it's one thing being a Lightworker, but if you've got all these wonderful, like, cosmic and whatever beliefs, but you're not doing anything to substantiate that with a daily practice, then you're not really going anywhere or helping yourself in your evolutionary process. Is that a reasonable statement, guys?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Laura, you know, being a spiritual person and a Lightworker is expensive stuff. You gotta buy you gotta buy organic all the time. That's expensive stuff. Okay,
Oh,
let me
yes,
tell
I've
you.
been there. Yeah.
Right, you gotta buy organic all the time, and you gotta replace. Now, all of this is very healthy. That you should buy organic. I'm not saying, I'm
Yes.
not knocking it, but then you gotta replace all the Tupperware in your house with glassware. That
Yes.
might cost you a lot. But
Yes.
wait. An organic incense is not cheap. For those of you who
No,
don't,
no.
mm-mm.
You can't
You
have
gotta,
purple pants.
right? And you can only buy ethically sourced crystals because
Yes.
if they're polished in any way, then it's not as good, but it's chemically washed crystal. Okay, all right. So that's expensive stuff when you're going to be a light worker. All of that pretense and so on, and the clothes that you're wearing, it has to be in line with organically sourced stuff. You're not going to wear no leather sandals. Me, I'm wearing the leather sandals. Okay, I'm buying the cheap incense. Right, that jumper is my thing. I'm going to buy that stuff. The thing about it is that the inauthenticity of being a light worker comes through when you become easily triggered because what you are portraying is not real.
Mm-hmm.
It's not real. So you're going to get triggered when it is that I come to your house, as an example, right? And I don't know, pick up one of your crystals and put it in a different place or something. Like, I don't know. Like, the light might strike it and you might have to reconfigure your crystal or what. Look, guys, spirituality is not supposed to be that painful and difficult, okay? The best people have spirituality on board as a reflex, right? They don't need to make a demonstration of their spirituality as a reflex. You see, Laura, Dale, Amy, we're just normal people, okay?
Yeah.
That does not mean that if I don't go into a store and there's something happening, I don't know, there might be a shooter in the store who never know because it's America, it's North America, all right? All right? It doesn't mean that I am not going to silently, in my own head, say a prayer.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
Right? What I will not do is assume lotus position in Walmart shopping aisle, right? Assume the lotus position in Walmart shopping aisle and go like, I won't do that. So there's a pretense that happens, a display, a grandstanding for a lot of light workers. They want everybody to know that they're a light worker. If you see me outside there on the street, you're not going to think that I'm in the spiritual. Okay, probably you might, because the symbols. But anyway, right? You're not going to know that I'm I'm into spirituality because let's face it, like we're dude walking in the aisle with the leather sandals. Definitely not a spiritual dude, and not the way I speak, right? Like if I saw Laura in the supermarket, I'm like, oh look, a hippie chick.
Yeah, I look more hippie than spiritual.
I'm like, oh, I wonder where this one is going. Right? The last thing on my mind would be not be shamanic person. Right?
Yeah.
If I saw Dale, I'm sorry, but if I saw you, I'm not going to associate you with spirituality. I'm like, oh, what is you doing? You better not be taking. Yeah. He better not be taking the last pastry. Right? I'm not like, I'm going to be like that kind of guy.
Yeah. So why do they need why do they need others' approval? Because part of that is about approval from other people, or is it approval they're looking for, or what?
Validation.
Validation. That's the word. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. They're looking for validation. Look, what I am doing is valid because you see me and you approve. Mm-hmm. Not realizing, nobody approved. People just think you weird.
Yeah. Yes. And it doesn't actually help, like, true spirituality, if you want to call it that. It doesn't really help because then everybody tends to get labeled with that light worker.
Well, so let's talk about this. So let's bring Amy in here because this is interesting because Amy's never been a light worker and she's not really familiar with the term light worker. So Amy, you'd be to come in here and start being the observer from a completely perspective.
I disagree with what you just said there. Amy has totally been a light worker.
I have?
Yeah, you have. I remember when we first met. Yes, you couldn't believe how irreverent I was. It was
Oh,
and now, I'm sure sometimes when you speak to me, you think you're in the ninth level of hell. Like this morning, right?
wait a minute. It could come from my religious background, being Catholic.
Oh, you
Okay.
think being a Catholic is different from being a light worker?
No, well, no. I don't remember. Oh, oh gosh, guys. Okay, I don't remember hearing twin flame or the number 1111 or any of that kind of things.
In
But
Catholicism?
no.
Hmm.
But then, we've had our chats about that. I didn't pay attention much.
Hmm.
But I know what the spiritual part of me is. Like, I know deep down from my religious upbringing of what I kept and what I didn't keep. I do know that, the dogmas of it. So if that makes sense.
So shall we teach Amy how to be a really good light worker?
Sure. If you
Yeah.
stump your toe, you
Yeah.
are allowed to say the F word because it hurts. Okay? It hurts bad, especially if you stump your toe against concrete. Okay? You're not going to stump your toe against concrete and say, "Oh, heavenly light." You're not going to say that. You're going to say, "Oh, shit." Right? You're going to say something like that. You're going to drop an F bomb. You're going to say, "Oh, shit." Honestly, with regard to Lightworker, it's not that difficult to portray. You're going to have to dress a different way. You might have to have sparkles everywhere.
Well, that's not light work. He makes fun of my sparkle wall.
You're going to have sparkles everywhere, that's for sure.
So,
Oh my goodness. Okay, let's do crystals. Okay.
well, a quick one to put in here.
Yeah.
So, a classic light worker would be someone who's been on the journey for ages, does as a Reiki master. They give everyone sessions, but they don't give themselves a session. They don't understand anything about anatomy, the body. They don't understand how the muscles work, where the fascia is. They don't understand getting actually sessions for themselves to actually clear their own fascia and so on. That's like a classic light worker, where they just completely just think it's all love and light, crystals, do energy healing, and that's it. That's all I do. Talk about 222. Also, as well, I'm not digging astrology here. Like, I think astrology works. I'm not saying it does, but a lot of people lose themselves, and I've seen it time and time again in their marketing, is they talk about astrology. That's all they know. Every single answer they fucking give you is astrology about Mars farting with Uranus or Uranus in the bedroom of Venus. I'm not dissing astrology. It works. It's true. But when you actually use it as every single thing you say all the fucking time, that's light worker, because you have no capacity to actually speak away from astrology and what Mars is doing with Uranus. You're just completely in that mode of like all the time talking like that. It's like, come on, man, you're a human.
You ever ran into somebody? Andrew and I have had this experience. We're trying to do business with this lady. She has to consult her astrologer because before she makes a decision, because Mercury is in retrograde, and I'm like, tell Mercury to get its ass where it's supposed to be. You understand me? Because we're going forward with whatever it is that we're going forward. Like, honestly, there is an aspect of astrology which is absolutely valid, but I think people use that as an excuse. A lot of the things. That's another thing that light workers do. They use the knowledge of metaphysics and spirituality as an excuse to either beat people over the head or become useless people. You do.
Because I think it, for example, using the astrology like that, if you're going to put everything down to astrology, you're not actually using your DNA skin suit properly, where you can access, your own inner wisdom. All the power you need and the potency you need is actually within you to create. So you can like listen to the astrology and maybe take notes, but remember that you can outcreate stuff. Yeah, we actually have the power through intention, through thought, word, action to create our own reality. So if you want to buy totally into astrology, that is the reality that you're going to create. Most people, or many people, forget they are co-creators of their own reality.
And it's like the connecting to astrology is card reading as well. Those who give card readings, every single tarot reading, every single message or post they put out, they give you the tarot reading. They actually lose the capacity to, like, cards are good and they work, but there becomes a certain point where you have to put them down and you have to start using your own initiative and your own validation, your own speaking, your own feeling, your own what's reading energy, basically. So you actually lose the capacity to be who you are. And this happens in Reiki as well. And I'm not dissing Reiki. Reiki's amazing and Reiki changed my life. But there's moving past it where you have to see limitations all the time around you, like the cards, like the astrology. How can you get past that and evolve through that? Those are great for those connection points. Like Reiki changed my life. It brought me on to psychic surgery. I'm not dissing it in any way. But there has to be a point where you have to start moving past everything instead of using them all the time to be your crutch, basically.
Well, they're tools to a greater purpose, aren't they? They're tools along the road to a greater purpose.
Can you imagine ordering a pizza and consulting the tarot as to whether you should put the pineapples on or not? Like, should we add the pineapples or shall we just keep an anchovy? Can you imagine a pizza of anchovy and pineapples? Anyway, never mind. Because your tarot told me to. Look, a lot of people walk down, and there's the different kinds of light worker. Because you'd get the one that's the narcissist, but then you'd get the one that's just mired in apathy, right? They don't care. Like I am distanced from it. I am detached. People take this word detachment. Like we need to talk about these kinds of people. I am detached. Oh, look, the little old lady is getting curb stomped by the bad guys. I'm not going to call 911 because that would be too engaged. So I will detach from all of it, right? And there are some people who tend to have this kind of view that the universe is in constant communication with them, but they misinterpret what the universe is trying to tell them, right? Right? So if you're trying to have a discussion with them, they're not listening to what you're saying. They're listening to what the universe is saying through you and putting their own interpretation on it. Like, go throw the garbage outside. Or for instance, go fix the deck, as an example. Okay? Go throw the garbage outside. That's a very simple statement, right? What is the universe trying to tell me by you telling me to go throw the garbage outside? Is the universe telling me that you're not the right husband or wife for me? That might be what? What's happening? Right? Probably this is it. Obviously, you're a narcissist, and the universe has revealed it to me by you demanding that I go throw the garbage outside. This is the kind of thing that people deal with every day with those people who are light workers, right? This over interpretation of other people, as opposed to looking at people and taking people for what it is that they say.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yes.
They read too much. They read way too much into a situation and try to overlay it too spiritually, don't they?
Correct.
It's something Andrew used to pick me up for. I used to say, "Oh, I've got this. Is it because of?" and come up with something spiritual, and he'd say, "No, it could just be because you've got a cold."
Yes.
You just got a cold. It doesn't mean you're clearing. It doesn't mean you're ascending. You actually just have a plain old cold. So after a while, you realise that you're just trying to gloss things in Lightworker juice.
Juice. Yes.
Yeah, Lightworker juice. Correct.
Yes.
I think it would be a good idea, a good practice for us to show people the different kinds of light worker. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I'll take one. Anybody else can take one. I'll start. Can I start this off?
Yeah.
Yeah, go on.
So why don't we do like a session scenario, which I've always wanted to do. This is like a comedy show at some point of like pretending you go and see someone for a session. Like, having a session. Let's pretend we're having a session with David. We're paid $222.22.
I'm the therapist. No, I'm the problem. I am the problem.
No,
I am not the
That's
therapist. I'm
fine.
the problem. Okay.
you can be the Lightworker therapist with an ego who's a narcissist who doesn't really. What about that? What do you think?
Okay.
Yes.
Step into my ashram, all of you. Let me tell you everything. Okay? Because I am David. The universe speaks through me. I speak through the universe. It speaks through me. And I can tell you everything. Everything.
So what do we call you, David? Do we call you Cosmic David, like in your ad?
You could you could call me Cosmic David, or you could call me Universal Agent.
Oh, okay. Wait, first of all, what is our relationship? Us three coming in together. What are we? Are we in a?
We need help, basically. We've heard
I
about
take group
David.
sessions. I take group sessions. The universe is boundless, so I could do 3 of you all in 1 hour.
Oh,
It'll be the same charge. So, yeah, I could do 3 of you all in boundless.
We all signed up to his Twin Flame Union course. That's why we're here.
yes.
Stop, everybody. Don't say anything. I'll tell you all what's wrong with y'all. You don't have to say anything.
Dale's choosing
I
between
know
us.
what your problem is, Laura.
Okay.
You're wearing prescription glasses because you can't see the truth.
No, that's me thinking.
You can't see the truth, right? And the truth is so simple that you can't see it in front of your nose. Okay? These 2 that you brought in here with you, they are not at your spiritual level. Take off the glasses. Be without them. Dale, you have let your beard grow back again. Why?
Because it gives me the.
What are you trying? What are you trying to? The universe has said to me that beard, it has to be trimmed differently. A goatee is so much nicer. Amy, that religious background is dimming your light. You seek light outside yourself. That's why you have a sparkly purple wall behind you. Because you seek light outside yourself. And so you're trying to manufacture this light, right? From outside yourself.
Oh, David, isn't it her crown chakra energy overflowing?
Yes, it does.
No. It's just part of the light that we see. Laura, I shall pray for you that you see the future, that you see the light that is being beamed at you. You cannot see it. Take off the glasses. I keep telling you this before, right? Look, see, the world has opened up. Do you see her aura right now? Do you see it? Well, if you can't see it, it's because you're not spiritually developed enough. All of you in the chat, because you haven't reached the level to see that once you took off the glasses, the aura exploded into different things, different dimensions, and so on. Now, Amy, tell me what ails you, my child. Tell me.
Well, what ails me? I keep thinking about my twin flame.
Oh, the twin flame. Mm-hmm.
Yes, and I haven't found him yet.
Okay.
And can you help me? Because that's why I'm coming to you today.
Well, the first thing that I would suggest to you is that you call David, your husband, down the steps so that we can have a discussion about your twin flame that you are missing.
I'm not Amy.
Right?
I'm Delilah.
Right, Delilah. Oh, your name is Delilah.
Yes, I'm Delilah.
So you're having also a little bit of a cognitive dissonance with regard to identity. I understand. Well, the universe has told me to tell you that one of these personalities must die today.
Okay, I believe you because you are my savior. And how do I make it die? What do I need to
There
do?
are many ways to do that, but that might cost you another 250. That's a private session. I do identity homicides on the side.
Oh, you do?
You're going to have to do that on a separate session. Dale, talk to me. Tell me what ails you, my brother.
So I've been vegan for about 22 years now and 22 days, and for some reason I just have no energy all the time. I have no weight. I don't weigh anything, and I'm always tired. And I think it's just either it's the Ascension flu, or it's just I've got too much light that my body can't deal with it anymore. So what do I do? I'm getting quite emotional saying this. I can't do anything. I've just got no energy.
I totally understand you, my brother. You became vegan, but were you vegan in your heart? Search yourself and tell me, is your heart vegan or is it full of meat?
It wants meat.
It wants meat.
Yeah, that's
Is
what
that
it's saying.
desire that
I've never spoke to my body before, ever. This is the first time I'm doing this. Wow.
right? Your heart wants meat, and that is where the energy drain is coming from. Okay, so my brother, my best advice is to do some exposure therapy. I suggest you go to the nearest steakhouse and put yourself in front of that steak and inhale. Close to it. Touch it with your hands. Touch it with your hands. Inhale. Put some barbecue sauce and let it inhale. And then your true nature will be revealed to you. Okay? Okay.
But I find it hard though, because my plant, I can't. The animals, like, it's so horrible to the animals. Like, plants aren't alive or anything, so when I eat them, I don't feel bad. But when it comes to animals, I can't do it.
Dale, I am also vegan, and I remember the last meal that I had. The plants were definitely screaming in unison. It was a salad. Okay. Really screaming in unison. It was a salad, and yes, I seem to remember the lettuce begging for its life, and the Brussels sprouts were definitely not happy, because imagine that they were grown just to be eaten. Okay, so everything suffers in this world: the plants, the animals, or whatever else. And if you are really attuned and sensitive, it just depends on what you want to do. So I was talking about the steak. The steak has already been disembodied from its original animal. So the snake doesn't have necessarily a personality, but the plants are in whole. When you eat a bean, it's the whole bean. Okay, so you have to be careful in terms of what you're thinking about when it is that you say veganism versus that. As I said to you, exposure therapy is the best therapy. Go to the steakhouse, inhale that ribeye, inhale it. Let it become part of your brain. And then check your heart and see if your heart wants that ribeye.
My heart wants it, but my body's getting triggered by this information.
Oh my God.
Tell me about so Laura, tell me about your life. How's it been going? Has it been going okay?
Yeah, I think I've been. I'm going through some difficult times, so I just wondered if you got any advice. You know, like on maybe going back to what Dale was saying, a bit like on detoxing and so on. Because I read somewhere about being a breatharian would be a good idea.
A breatharian. That requires a large amount of discipline. So you're going to inhale the air and be nourished by it?
Yes, I can feel it nourishing me, you know, as I breathe. I'm just a little bit worried about giving up the cream cakes.
The cream cakes. Okay. So you're going to go from cream cakes to inhaling the air and being nourished by it. Well, that's a rather big step, my child. I mean, like, maybe you might want to go a few steps down first, okay? Like, probably like an apple or something, right? Because from cream cake to air, I'm thinking that it might not work well. There's also the byproduct of inhaling too much of that air and getting into your digestive tract, right? But as we say, ashes to ashes, dust to dust, there must be some kind of nourishment in your body. And I think that the difficult time you're going through may be directly linked to the amount of cream cakes that you might be consuming. So I'm going to ask you, on average day, how many cream cakes do you consume?
Only one a day with coffee, but I'm trying to be like you, Universal Agent David. And I know, when you write that cosmic wisdom column and I read that, and I know I should never have anything like that at all. In fact, all the fun and enjoyment that I get from my daily cup of coffee and my pastry, I realize now, to be a fully fledged light worker, I can't have anything like that at all.
Well,
So I've got to get used to cutting out this area of which is actually pleasure and enjoyment in my life, and what I consider being a bit just mainstream and normal. I realize now, to be a light worker, having read your column, that all of that must go.
Okay. Do you think that the cream cakes make you happy?
Yes, temporarily.
You do realize that the cream cakes are flour, water, sugar, and eggs, right?
Yes.
Are there icing on the is there icing on the cream cakes?
Oh yeah, sometimes. Yeah, yes.
So flour, water, sugar, and eggs is the ingredients. Shall we break them down bit by bit?
Well, I know eggs are good for you.
Okay, so I'm going to simplify things for you, my child, because this is one of the things that I do for
Yes.
people who come into my sessions. The
Yes.
flour is kind of like paste. Have you ever made flour paste? So when you eat it, it settles in your digestive tract and clogs things up, right? So if you are experiencing any form of, I don't know, constipation, the flour would be there. The sugar is going to go into your head and it's going to create a sugar spike in your body, which will get you happy temporarily. But then let's talk about the eggs. At its bare minimum, the eggs are inseminated foul menstruation.
Oh God.
It is inseminated foul menstruation. And so when you consume inseminated foul menstruation, just because it's a foul, it's no different. It's just another species. Would you like it if somebody extracted an egg from a human, scramble it over easy, mixed it with some flour, I don't know, and fed it to you? I'm guessing it might not be the same effect.
I've never
That's what an egg
like that
is an egg. So I'm just saying to you that your cream cake may not make you as happy as you think it might. Okay? When you break things up to its bare minimum.
I've realised that, to be as cosmically awesome as you, David, that it isn't going to happen for me because I like my coffee and my cake.
Right?
I want my money back.
And let's talk about the coffee. So the coffee is a stimulant, you know that?
Yes.
So I understand that you don't want to go straight to cocaine, so you choose coffee instead.
Yes.
But the problem is that cocaine might have the secondary benefit of keeping you trim and slim.
So I should go straight to that then.
I'm just saying, well, it's white powder like flour.
David has cosmic cocaine.
Right?
Yeah, cosmic cocaine.
The point that I'm trying to make is that if you come off the inseminated foul period mixed with the paste, mixed with the sugar load, then there's a chance that you might actually become a little bit happier. Okay? Right? And that's true happiness. It's not temporary happiness. The happiness of being free from eating small little baby chicks that haven't had the chance to break out of their shell.
But Universal Agent David, is there not like a middle road in all of this where we don't have to be like quite like you.
Well, I suppose there is a middle road. You could ask the poor chicken for consent to eat its menstruation. It's
Yeah.
inseminated menstruation. You could ask the chicken for that.
Okay.
But when you break things down to it's very simple, I just want to keep you guys simplified. Like, Amy, what is it that you're drinking right now?
Water.
Okay,
Lemon
good.
water. Lemon water.
Lemon water. Okay. Because you want to take the uric acid out of your system. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay. So how's that going?
Good.
How's your bladder right now, Amy?
It's good. It's good. I do take a pH test every morning. You know, those pH.
You pee on a strip?
Yes.
Is there any fluoride in that water, Amy?
Well, it's filtered. And, you know, I put it in the moon last night.
You know, most of the
that water has been there from since last night?
No. No, it has not. I'm trying to be a light worker here.
All right. So, so basically, you put it in the moon.
I put it in the moon because, you know, I knew that will take everything out of it. And it would be good for my body.
Take everything out of you. My question is, did you put it in the moon outside where the bugs are, or did you just keep it in there?
No, I put it outside, but I have a little, you know, mesh thing that I put it in, like a screen. You know, like a colander.
I have a question. Was that water still in the moonlight?
No, I brought it in this morning. I got a little bit of sunlight.
My question is, was the water stationary in the moonlight all night?
Yes.
Okay, so there's a high possibility that mosquitoes could have been breeding in that water then? Did you just swallow a bunch of mosquitoes?
No, I'm only kidding, guys. I'm only kidding.
Let's break things down to the simple.
Oh my goodness.
Tell me what ails you, my sister. What is the biggest problem in your life right now?
Oh my goodness. Wait, are we role playing?
I think David gave that up a while ago.
Tell me what ails you, and I'll give you the solution.
Oh,
the universe through me.
I have a pile of laundry I need to do. That ails me.
So the clothes that you put on, the way you present yourself is becoming a problem way too much for you.
It is. And sometimes, what?
Can I ask what's that top made out of? Has it got any animal products in that top?
No. This is
hemp.
It is merino wool. But I did ask the sheep for consent. So tell me, so Amy, the clothes that you have is causing you a problem. The ones that you put on. And this is the problem with humanity. We all put on these clothings, these garbs, but they are not really us. My solution to you is to strip naked and run down the street outside your house. That will give you a level of freedom.
And the popo coming.
Right? That will give you a level of freedom that you never realized before.
But it will only be temporary.
It would only be
the police come.
Level of freedom, right? You guys get my general drift. If there's anybody in the chat, for those of you who are watching this video and looking at our show, we just want to let you know that in terms of all the light that you emanate from inside, all the light that you emanate from inside, all the light that you emanate outside, all of these things are necessary for you guys to become more in tune with the world, the universe, and all that there is. Without all of this stuff, you are still a few steps down, you know? A few steps down.
So in levels, David, universal age, David, you know, where are you? Are you, if it was out of 10, and are you somewhere near 9?
Well, we don't do numerical values.
Okay.
I'm just an agent of the universe. The universe speaks to me, and I speak to you guys, and I give you the solutions which the universal elemental beings tell me to do.
But somebody told me I didn't actually have to go through like a medium like you, that it was actually all inside of me in my own intuition. What's your view on that, David?
Well, based on the Christian outlook, Jesus loves the little children, all the children of the world. Yes, red and yellow, black and white, we're all precious in His sight. The universe operates like that, right? Everything is inside you. That is absolutely correct. But everything inside you is reflective of what is outside of you.
Mm.
So, as an example, you're looking at me and I am looking at you. The essence of you is inside of me, and the essence of me is inside of you. So I, technically speaking, am a middle-aged blonde English woman, and you, Laura, are a big black guy. Think about it. Embody it. Right? Everything is inside you, Laura. Everything is inside you. You see how that came out and how that went down a dark road very quickly? All puns intended.
Mm-hmm.
Mm,
Mm-hmm.
mm.
I caution you about going around saying everything is inside of me in
Yes.
certain environments.
So let's talk about shadow work then in the Lightworker world. What's
Ah,
shadow work?
shadow work. I always wonder where that word came from, because shadow work is kind of like watching the sun hitting against you and you're looking at your shadow. Okay?
Mhm.
Okay. If you're trying to get away from your shadow, you would be shit out of luck. Okay?
Yes. Yes.
You would be shit out of luck. I don't understand where the concept of shadow work came from. Okay? So you have this dark internal part of yourself. You have all the traumas and so on, whatever. You can't run away from it. That's who makes you you, right? As an example, if I took away all of your trauma and all of the stuff that you have learned in terms of trauma, all the lessons that you've learned, do you know how dumb you would be? Think about it very carefully. Like, do you really want to be that dumb?
Mm.
Can you imagine if you never understood how things work, how people work? If you never understood, like, you walk into a place and you're looking at somebody's face and they're like, is that person angry at me? You don't know. These are little micro traumas that teach you. So when you say, I want to do shadow work, I want to disembody myself from my shadow, boy, that'll be some fun to see. Can you imagine that? How many people want to do shadow work? Has anybody ever done shadow work?
Well, the thing is, and what I've kind of experienced, David, is the thing is with a lot of people with shadow work, 8 times out of 10 they're doing it wrong and they're not doing anything at all. They're actually just amplifying their own darkness and not really knowing what they're doing. And happens time and time again, where people realize that they can't beat it, and the shadow kicks their fucking ass and completely destroys them. And they keep doing it, thinking they're actually doing something. But in true reality, is that you have to do inner work, internal trauma. You have to go into it and start bringing remedy to it and start actually clearing it, going backwards, dealing with what happened back then, dealing with the body's response. A lot of people don't fucking have a clue how to do it. And you get all of these people like Teal Swan, Teal Scott, who just constantly talk about shadow, and to the point where people listening to her, all they think about is darkness and shadow. That's all they talk about is the dark stuff. I'm not saying it is there, but what you look at looks back at you, and people get obsessed with it, and shadow work just overrules the life.
I think that if you are walking down the street and there is your shadow following you, and you're paying more attention to the shadow as opposed to paying attention to your awareness of yourself, then you have a major problem, because the shadow is necessary because it lets you know that there is light.
Mm.
and you have choice. So when you see the shadow, you know that there's a light. Look ahead of you and not look to the side or behind you where that shadow is. And here's the other issue. You want to fall inside of a shadow? People think it's so cool. Shadow work. It sounds so cool. Let me join a weekend course. You really think you could get rid of your shadow in a week? If you are over the age of 30, and I say this as a holistic statement, and I don't care who you are, who you're watching this film. If you're over the age of 30 and you think you could get rid of do all your shadow work in a weekend, are you nuts? Like, are you serious? Okay? Do you understand that things that you may have forgotten had a big impact on you, may have had a massive impact on you? You want to delve into that? If you want to delve into that, please understand that this shadow work is kind of like I'm going to make an analogy. Shadow work is like getting a tooth extraction from your rectum. Okay? That's what it feels like.
Oh, jeez.
The thing is, there are.
If you think you're going to get over that, the shadow work itself is traumatic. If you think you're going to get over that in a weekend, dispel that from your mind. Okay?
The thing is, there is so many misnomers, aren't there, in the lightworking industry? So much misinformation. Because I remember a few years ago listening to something about chakra removal. Does anyone else remember that?
Oh.
Someone was doing a meditation actually for chakra removal. So actually removing your energy centers because you don't need them.
Oh my. Oh my. And what was the purpose? Why?
Oh, to free yourself. That was their version of sovereignty.
The chakra
Oh.
system is mapped onto the endocrine system.
Yes.
The chakra system is mapped onto the endocrine system. It is the soul body's reflection of major endocrine function in the spiritual realm. If you're going to remove the chakra, you might as well be cutting your own testicles off,
Yes.
removing your spleen, the xiphoid process, the thymus, the hypothalamus, the pineal gland. You might as well be doing all of those things. So I'm like, that doesn't sound pleasant. Why would I want to do that? Right? I might need these things. It's kind of like you have tonsils, but there's nothing wrong with them. But you go to the doctor anyway and say, yo, remove my tonsils now. I don't need them. Like, why would you do that? Okay? Or you're over a certain age and I'm like, well, I'm not going to have much more children. Instead of getting a simple vasectomy or using a condom, just cut it off completely, please.
So
We've
got a question here from Universal Love. So may I ask, when I speak with my sister about spiritual subject, is this ego and control, or am I just stomping on her learning? I'm torn between shutting up or talking. I love my sister. We're very close.
That's a good question. I want to go first on this one. It depends on how you do it. As an example, all right. So normally speaking, if you feel in depth that there's a need to talk to your sister, there is a way of doing it. First of all, you ask consent first. Can I share something with you? Ask consent. Okay. And if she says, is it more that spiritual mumbo jumbo? And you say, yes, of course it is. You know who I am. Right? you say yes. And then she says, yeah, okay, all right. So you get the consent. When you are speaking to your sister, do not assume a didactic tone. Let me show you what the difference between a didactic. Well, I did it for the past hour there. Right? Right? Like let's say I'm having a conversation with Laura, right? And I'm talking to Laura from a position of superiority. Laura, you are not superior, you are not enlightened enough. So let me tell you, right, that your glasses, your prescription glasses, bad for you. You see how I'm talking to Laura? As opposed to saying, you know, I want to talk to you, but I wanted this to be a dialogue, right? So I'm going to present something, you tell me, and then we come to some middle ground somewhere, right? Yeah, I don't like your frames. Okay, no, not like that, right? No, I love your frames, by the way, Laura. All things aside, right? Right. But my point is, There's a way of talking to people where there is a dialogue, where you're approaching them as equals because you are not superior to them. Okay. And if you are a healer or a counselor, or if you guys in the chat are actually spiritual workers and not yourself, speak to people like equals. Do not speak to them like they're dumb and they don't know better. I don't care whether they are dumb and don't know better. I don't care. Okay? Because I know some of you all are going to come back, but David, they really are quite dumb. I have some really dumb plans. Right? It doesn't matter. Could you give them the dignity of speaking to them like they are like your brother or your sister, literally your brother or your sister, and have a discussion with them where there's back and forth. Be prepared that they're not going to agree with you. Get your arguments correct in your head. If you are confident in what you are saying, you will be able to have a discussion with people and not let it turn into well, you clearly aren't ready for the wisdom I'm imparting, and you do off and you walk away like the Muppets on Sesame Street, right? Don't be that way. Speak to people like normal, okay? And don't go above their heads by giving them some spiritual jargon about the eclipses and Mercury in retrograde and all of that stuff. Speak to people like normal. I care about you and your health, right? I see that you're stressed. I think probably Reiki can help you, because what do you have to lose? You're doing everything else. So can I offer you something because I care about you? Simple, straight, plain.
There was a saying, I don't know whether it's Wayne Dyer or somebody like that, who said it's more important to be kind than it is to be right.
Yeah.
Which is, I do try and remember that one.
Mm-hmm.
If you're as well, like adding to what David was saying with that question, would be you've got to understand when you're trying to get a conversation out of them about spirituality, where is it coming from? Is it coming from a place where you just want to tell them what you know and want them to make you to sound feel good for yourself? Mm-hmm. You want to be that person who can preach or tell them. So before you're going to get into conversation, where is it coming from? Are you truly asking it out of your own heart, or are you doing it to try and change them? And like David says, simplifying things for them. Don't go into Lightworker mode when they ask you questions about the spirituality. Try and make it as simple, as dumbed down as possible for them. Like, it makes you feel better. It deals with stress. It relaxes you, instead of talking about the energies or the Archangel Michael's boyfriend or anything like that. It's so important that you actually have some sort of smartness, that you're dealing with someone who isn't a Lightworker here. You have to speak to them in a way that you're not making them feel you're superior or anything like that. Very important.
Or why not? Sorry, I was just going to say, if you're like me, which is you sort of have so much you want to say at times, you could always record yourself and put it out and like YouTube, or do a little recording of yourself rather than it being at somebody. Talk to a screen, record yourself and see how you sound.
I'm Laura. I'm a Lightworker.
Yeah. And saying from what Dale said, it's always, to me, it's about, because I've done this before, and it's always about the agenda behind what you want to say. Like, I want to get this out because it's in me. I want to get it out. And it's different when I recognized that pattern that I was doing with my sister. The words come out flowing from your heart more easily. Like, when you take that away and just put it over here for a little bit, whatever language you speak to other people in your groups, just do heart to heart, connect to their heart.
Absolutely.
Comes out different.
The intention, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. Because they don't understand. They look at me cross-eyed like, what are you talking about?
Well, they glaze over. You see the glaze. The glaze.
Yeah.
The amount of times you give someone advice, 9 times out of 10 you give someone advice for non-spirituality about spirituality, they ignore you. They never listen to you. They'll never do it. It's just wasted energy. And that's what I've learned, is when to shut up, when to stop myself from talking about my spiritual journey. Like, there's certain people in my family, I just don't say it because I've tried to help them and it's only backfired in karma and made with all that situation. Everyone can relate to that in spirituality. You've tried to help a loved one, you can help. They've gone into illness, disease. You could give them advice to really help them, but there becomes a point where anything you say, it doesn't matter. It's like cancer. When my dad, when he had cancer, family members with cancer, you just got to know when you can't speak, even though you may have a solution or an idea which may help them, it'll just all backfire on you. And Laura, you've dealt with this with family members, and I have as well. It just comes back to you in karma. You just create karma for yourself. And you end up triggered, pissed off, annoyed. Then you get annoyed and go out of your spirituality mode.
Yeah, it's almost...
Go on, Amy.
No, it's almost like you just made me realize about my father-in-law who had cancer. And even though I could have helped him in other ways, if I would do the spiritual thing, it was like I would just rub he had gout in his legs at the time, and I would just rub his legs. That's it. That's all that was needed. And he felt so much better.
Amy, did you get consent first to rub his
I
legs?
did not. Well, of course I got consent. I don't think he cared at the time.
This is also why
Why?
we don't do sessions for free. I mean, we do the shows, we do loads of shows, but when we do sessions, we charge, because unlike some people in the Lightworker industry who say everything should be for free, because when you have to pay for something, you're going to value it more. I absolutely believe that. So people who pay for sessions come because they want to, they're happy for the energy exchange of money for session, to get the advice, to get the learning, whatever it is. So there is a difference. And unfortunately, in the Lightworker industry, so many look down on us for charging.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've had that.
That's a thing?
Yeah, charging too much for a day, a day with shaman or something like that. No, that's way too much money. And it's like...
I have a question. And it's another irreverent question, so you guys can brace yourselves for it. What is the difference between a street corner prostitute and an escort?
Nothing.
No, there's a very big difference there, Dale. The price.
Now,
the next question.
Yeah. But it's also
the next question. That's a bad analogy.
Yeah.
That's a bad analogy, I know, right? So now the next question is, assuming that you were soliciting sex, and there's a lady on the street that says, I'm giving it for free. And there's another lady who says, I want $60, right? And then there's a lady who says, no, I charge $200 an hour. Do you see how I made that really simple for you all?
Mm-hmm.
Did that go over your head? Go to be asking yourself, what the hell you giving that for free for, right?
You forgot the people that say, pay what you can afford. What are those ones? Pay what is it called? Pay
donations.
Yeah, donations.
Okay, pay what you can afford. Okay.
I mean,
I've seen the people who say that you pay what you can afford. They're usually a lot slimmer because they're not getting food to eat, because they can't pay their bills, than the other people who listen to me. Let's say you come to a spiritual healer because you have an issue like the prosperity preachers. I can't manifest any income, anything. And the spiritual healer says to you, well, pay what you can afford. Oh, okay.
I know. We've seen them
What
out
are you
there.
teaching people? There's an element of healing that I don't care who you are, what practice you do. You cannot escape the teaching element if you are a healer. You can't. Either by example or by direct teaching. You can't. Okay? Because if you are a healer, let's say you're a Reiki practitioner, I come into your office, there's smoke all over the place, you puffing one out, right? I'll be with you in a second. Right?
Like us.
You puffing one. What are you going to teach me? You can't escape. You can't escape being a teacher, either by example or so on. You're not going to go to a Reiki practitioner. Look, can you imagine? Let me just empty this cigarette. I'll be with you. They say, oh, this one, okay.
With
And,
chocolate
let's
eclair.
put my hands on you. I'm just going to put my hands on you and you're going to be healed, right? You're going to be healed. And then you come out there smelling like smoke, right? You are not promoting health. Yeah. Okay. And a lot of people miss that point. So when it is that you're approaching people and you're trying to people are saying, well, you shouldn't charge. The charging is not necessarily for yourself as well. It is for that other person as well. It teaches them a kind of discipline, right? It teaches them discipline.
And it's an energy exchange. And without that energy exchange, things are unbalanced.
The amount of people who are spiritual and can't afford to pay the bills because they charge in such a low rate, and they actually go into like poverty karma where they've been in struggling before. And this is something obviously I learned because I undercharged a while ago, and when I started actually charging and valuing myself, because you've got bills to pay, the world isn't easy, and you to get taxed left, right, and center. You got to fucking earn money. You can't live off £22 or $22 a session or 3 sessions. And something else to add to this, which makes me laugh time and time again, is when people put on, I don't charge, but I accept donations of $55 or $222. But you are charging. But you're saying donation, but it's fucking charging. Like you're charging. Like if we don't accept charge, but we accept donations of $222. Like that's charging.
What is this about? Is this charging 111 or charging 222?
Can I answer
that? Yeah, answer that.
Charging 111 and I pay you in pesos. Does it mess up your whole geometrical, theological whole design? Because I'm going to guess that the conversion rate is not going to come out to 111. Or is it that you have pegged your karma to the US currency?
Oh, good one.
Brilliant.
Good one.
Have you pegged your karma to the US currency? Because if I pay you in pesos, or I pay you in Canadian currency, I might pay you, and I don't know, rupee. It's not going to come out to 111. It might come out to some dire figure like 555 as an example, or 666 for that matter. Okay?
That's a limitation.
Dire figure like 555 or 666. Will that mess you up, or do you alter your fee to make it come back to 111? Because I could pay you 111 pesos if you want.
Well, that's their limitation, huh? We just found a little loophole. That's their limitation. 111.
I'm paying you 111 pesos.
Yeah. Well, no, American money.
But then that wouldn't be 111 pesos.
I know. That's why their limitation.
Give me a second, Amy. Hey, Google, what is the conversion of 111 American dollars to pesos?
111 United States dollars is approximately 2,046 Mexican pesos and 56 centavos.
Did you hear that?
246. Yeah, been all right if it was 144.
These are not master numbers.
6 and 6 is 12. 12.
Yes.
1 and 2 is 3.
Wait.
Okay. You're back to 3.
Yeah.
So you're it's not good. It's not a good look. It's not a good look. Okay. My point is that when you are charging these kinds of because you want to be so cool with yourself, 111, seriously?
Mm-hmm.
What if I'm paying you in cash and I don't have change? Does that mess you up?
Hey guys, guess what? I have the most enlightened house. Did you know? My house number is 144.
Oh, you do. You must
Right?
You must be one of them.
I must be one of them. Secret undercover. When you said 144, I didn't even know this was the number.
I noticed something reptilian about the way you were picking up that cup.
Pick it up.
Like
So enlightening.
you have a very weird way of picking up the cup. It's almost like you didn't have hands.
Yeah, she's crystalline now.
You had claws instead. The way you picked up that cup was kind of suspect. Honestly,
Oh my God.
light, and here's the problem with light workers. They demonize other people in the spiritual realm because they have to, because of validation issues. Okay, so here we are talking a bunch of irreverent stuff, making fun, and they're like, oh, you know what? These people are laughing way too much to be spiritual. Nah, I'm
Yeah.
going to laugh at you every day of the week and twice on Sundays. All right, every day of the week. Right? When you pull up in your robes and you're telling me about I need you to pay me 111, and I'm like, but I don't have change. I only have 20s.
Okay, so what is our purpose of doing shows like this, the Lightworker show? And is it not to change them, right? We're not here to.
It gives them the potential to change. Because when I listen to shows like this with Andrew and so on, it plants the seed, and then
Okay.
it gives them a choice, doesn't it? We're putting it out there in potential that maybe some of their points of view are a little bit limited.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
also because we've been there, so we do know. And
Yeah.
like we said at the beginning, we've come out the other side, and we realise that it's a certain maybe rites of passage that people have to go through, but it also is a gentle poke.
It is a gentle poke.
Yeah,
That's a good way to put it.
So people don't get too lost, and people can just get lost in the light, where that's all they see, and they don't actually have a human side to them anymore. It's all about Lemuria this, Lemuria that, the Ascension. I'm too sensitive to go out in groups, or I'm too sensitive to deal with you. I can't listen to other people's point of view. It's just helping people us to kind of talk about our own experiences of how to not do it necessarily the right way, but what, like Laura said, gives us limitations. And being a light worker at times does limit you because you don't see other potentials of your reality anymore. It's just all love and light and no shite.
No shite.
David.
Honestly, I don't want the light workers to go away. The humor, the amusement. I'm sorry, I'm not going to say anything deep and wise at this particular point in time. I'm just simply going to point out that the light workers are, listen, there's an old African saying which I'd like to impart to you all. Everybody in life is useful, because if you have absolutely no use, you could be a really good bad example.
Brilliant.
Right? You could be a really good bad example. So for those of you who are out there who are thinking about, I wanted to talking about me. Probably we are, probably we aren't. But some of these behaviors, if you see them in yourself, please understand that it's usually not appreciated by people who are at the receiving end of it. People would like you to just be caring and normal with them. Okay, so like offer good advice. Please get consent from people. Don't just roll up on people and say, yo, but that's a ribeye steak that you're inhaling. Who sent you there to do that? Okay. You say, oh, Universal Agent David sent me. Right? So you're right. My point is get consent and be caring, be decent beings, okay? All right. Sometimes it might not be that you want to teach somebody. Sometimes if you are a light worker, inverted commas, you might just want to sit down next to somebody and just hold their hands and say, it's going to be all right. Something simple as that. It doesn't have to be anything highbrow, like, bathing them in white light and, I don't know, putting sandalwood paste on their head. It might be something that just grab their hands and say, it's going to be okay. Can I hold your hand?
And to be honest, in my own experience, I meet more angelic type beings or people who just have a great heart, like we used to call them angels walking the earth, who are not a bit spiritual. They're not into any of this, but they're just really, really good human beings. And light workers who just aren't like that at all.
I agree, Laura. It's the person you pass on the street. We don't know.
Who are
Say
the
hello
people in your neighborhood?
Yeah.
This was a very good discussion.
Yeah. So we've got 5 more minutes until the left of the show. So what can we talk about for the last 5 minutes? I think as well, it's important to realize that a lot of light workers forget they have to be a student as well as a teacher at the same time. And I've seen it time and time again where people go to my events or other events I've seen, and they're so used to teaching all the time, they can't actually step out and be a student and actually learn and just be there to observe and listen and to learn themselves. It's always I have to be the teacher and always doing this and that. So that's my taking as well. I've seen that time and time again.
Okay, well, let's
switch off. Can't switch off.
Switch off. Yeah, switch off.
Yeah.
We didn't talk about what if you're the receiving end of Lightworker salad.
yes.
So let's talk about Lightworker salad. What does it mean? Come on. Right, let's we say it all the time.
I'll give this advice very briefly. If you're a Lightworker salad and they have like the flowers in their hair and they're telling you everything that you need to know, right? Because they know everything. My advice to you is say thank you for the information. I will keep it in mind, and then evaporate yourself from the premises as quickly as possible.
So why don't we
go back to taking coffee?
Why don't we go around and everyone give a few Lightworker salads? Come on, we'll start with Laura and we'll go David, Amy, then myself. So let's give a phrase which is full Lightworker salad.
Oh my God.
Scenario where you just give someone salad.
Mass awakening, mass ascension.
We're going to spell that way.
I don't know.
David, you go.
For those of you watching this broadcast, your awakening will happen when the time is right. Let you know when the time is right, okay? But you just have to put in the work and watch our next show. That's all we ask of you. Just watch the next show.
Laura, Amy.
Oh my gosh, guys. Let's see. Oh my gosh. I have no clue.
Like watching 11:11.
Amy, all the people, you know what? I'm going to, Amy, sets up the sparkly wall. Let the light shine in. Face it with a grin. Smilers never lose and losers never win.
I don't know. Make sure you bathe in the light. Every night in the moonlight. Okay, wait. Yes. Not lie naked under the moon.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
So, because it'll penetrate. Oh, sorry, didn't mean that word. Sorry, guys. Oh my God. Okay, Dale, your turn.
So, just remembering, guys, some information I received yesterday from one of my Galactic friends, Saint Germain. Well, it was actually Saint Germain's cousin, Saint Frank. It was just about we are here to spread the light. And going through this time of ascension now, we need to be light bearers. And we need to remember that we're conduits of light and we're here to spread the message of light to everyone. Even if they don't want to hear it, we need to spread this light. And Archangel Michael as well has spoke to me many times in my dreams. If you have any problems with demons, just ask Michael to clear them out. Ask Michael to take care of them. He'll do all your shit for you.
Yeah.
Namaste.
Yes. You don't have to do your own work. You've got the Galactics. You've got the Ascended Masters. You've got the Angelic Realm.
You have a special laxative angel that will
I'd like to thank especially Universal Agent David.
Yes. Ascended Master David for coming in.
Yes.
Yes, I have to clear some stuff out, Those of you in the audience, I'm sure at the end of the show you would have felt a clearing of your lower chakras.
So, guys, what a fun show! Like my face hurts from laughing that much.
I know.
Yeah.
It really does. So how can people get a hold of the sessions? We'll start with you, David. People want to get in touch with you.
If you want to get in touch with Universal Agent David, you can email me at info@universalcitizentv. Ironically, info@universalcitizentv.com. All right, and I will be there to help you figure out whatever ails you. Amy?
Yes, that is the same. No, that's not. That is where you sign up for our UCM community, right? That's the email. That's the link to sign up. Yes, come over to there and join our community, because guess what? It's changing, right, David?
Yes.
And Amy, have you got an announcement? What's happening in October?
Oh, yes.
Oh, is the word out?
The word is out.
Word is
Yes.
out.
The email
The
has
word-
gone out.
The big event happening, the Manifest event,
Yes.
the weekend of October 26, 27, 28, and 29, a 4-day event. And I think David is coming to that too.
Yay.
Yay, David. Yes.
No, Universal Agent is coming.
Yes, Universal Agent is coming to this event.
Oh, we'll
Come
have to
join
do
us.
a Lightworker sketch while we're there.
There might be skits. We would have to do a
Yes,
skit, don't you think?
We will.
I think so. We'll
So
liven
there we
it
are.
up.
It's all on screen.
Yes. So come join us.
You'll be able to meet the team live.
Yes. And we want to meet you. We want to meet you guys.
Be able to experience Dale choosing a cream cake.
Bring
me
Dale.
looking at you all like,
Yeah.
Bring Dale cream cakes.
Yes.
I'm gonna bring you some Entenmann's.
So,
Yes.
Laura, how can people get a hold of you for some light working sessions?
Well,
if they need
to bathe in my cosmic light.
Bathe in your cosmic light.
I can help them remove their chakras.
Oh no.
Okay, so my really unlightworkery email is laura2feathers@gmail.com. And I'd just like to say I would say that wasn't lightworkery, that is more shamanic. Okay,
Yes,
people will still take the mickey because I wear feathers too, but there we go. I'm more hippie, as David said. Yes, if you would, I'm an ancestral medium, so if you desperately trying to not use lightworker language here, if you'd like to come and sit round your own ancestral fire, I can help you connect to your ancestors. And
did you say connect to your ancestral fire?
Sorry?
Did you say connect to your ancestral fire?
Yes.
Okay.
To their ancestral.
She went light worker.
I think I'm going to say that one's allowed. Okay. Yes. So, and if you'd like to learn some shamanic tools that help you with self-empowerment and being as happy as me, then yes, please contact me for a private session. I also have twofeathersmedicine.com is my website.
Wait, don't you have an event coming up?
Yes. So,
yes.
Coming up for myself, I have the psychic surgery training, which is going to be coming up on the 13th and 14th of July. I'm also running an early bird up until the solstice of £100 off. So if you'd like to embark on your psychic surgery training and learning how to learn soul retrieval, entity clearing, ancestral balancing, sending treatments forwards and backwards in time, how to actually read yourself, learning the art of psychic surgery and energy healing. Also, if you'd like to learn to be a practitioner of others and yourself and start that journey, join me for the psychic surgery training on the 13th and 14th of July. And also as well, I'm offering discounts on my sessions at daletobin.com. So if you're feeling lost, depressed, down, or you want me to help you out in any way, book a session with me. I've got my session discount until the solstice as well. So thank you, everyone. What a fun show. And David, it's an absolute honor to have you on again. And thanks for making us laugh, Amy, Laura, and David.
Yes, thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Foul Sauce out. Bye.
Bye.